family is terrified after a woman with a pickaxe came banging on their front door.
Real monsters aren't hiding in the dark. They're walking among us. These people were caught crossing the line in the most terrifying ways. What you're about to witness shows how evil some people can get. A woman was caught on camera in Modesto, California, breaking the windshield of a truck, and the reason behind it will shock you. Fitness influencer Sydney Taylor was seen smashing her husband's car in the middle of the road. She climbed onto the vehicle and began kicking at the windshield, shattering it with pure rage. Netizens online said she was roid raging, but because of all the debacle, Taylor made an Instagram post explaining what really went down.
This was betrayal of my friend and my man having an affair behind my back.
Her husband and her best friend were having an affair, and on 20th of June 2023, she caught her best friend behind the wheel.
And so when she pulled in front of me in his car, really, there was a red light opportunity.
After she pulled up next to her, causing all of this to take place.
She was welcome in my home, obviously, at any time, and used that as an opportunity.
Pickaxe terror.
Not only did that woman shatter the windows, she shattered the family's sense of security.
This family in Los Angeles lost all sense of safety when this woman showed up outside their house. The homeowner, Armand Chokadrian, wasn't home when she walked up the driveway with a pickaxe. And what she did shook the family to its core. She shattered the windows, one after another. Although Armin wasn't home, his mother-in-law was inside babysitting his daughter. After this incident, police found the woman identified as Beverly Baker walking down the road, swinging the same pickaxe. She was charged with vandalism, and Armin filed a restraining order against her. Terrifying road rage.
I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna kill you!
During this road rage, a woman began vandalizing another woman's car, hitting the windshield over and over again. During this fit of rage, she even ripped off the wiper to smash the windshield. As she kept up with this deranged act, the driver was so scared for her life that she did not dare step outside. Her tantrum only ended when police arrived and arrested her. Her name is Nancy Campanino, and she was charged with disorderly conduct. After this video went viral on social media, Ashton Miano finally explained what had happened.
After I honked, she slammed on brakes immediately and put her car in park and got out immediately, yelling, screaming.
Ashton said that she had simply honked at Nancy, who cut her off, and that made her lose her mind.
She couldn't get to me where I was, which is why I stayed in the car.
Abandoning a friend.
Va a regalar un perrito. No, lo va a dejar ahí, güey. No manches.
The video captured a heartbreaking moment when a man pulled over his car. He placed his dog inside a box by the roadside, and then he just left without a second glance.
Así, güey. No. Alcánzalo, güey. Alcánzalo.
The dog kept looking around in confusion, hoping his owner would come back, but he didn't. The person recording this couldn't handle the sadness and confusion on the dog's face, so he decided to adopt it. Last goodbye. Another pet left behind with no explanation. The man was petting his husky on the roadside, but the dog didn't know this was a goodbye. After a few moments, the man got in his car and drove off. The husky even chased after the speeding car, not knowing its owner had abandoned it. But this cameraman didn't just film this sad incident. They adopted the abandoned animal and gave it a loving home it deserved. Smash and grab. This CCTV footage shows how far human greed can go. This security camera captured a robbery in Los Angeles. The jewelry store was a lifelong dream of a 65-year-old man who had spent every penny of his savings to start this business. On the 12th of June 2022, a robber targeted this store. He broke through the window and soon his accomplice later joined. The robbers knew the store had recently opened, but what they didn't know was the mechanical gate that was installed just 2 days ago. After they failed to keep the gate from shutting, they ran away with whatever they had stolen. Police analyzed the footage and caught one of the suspects, who was charged with armed robbery, but his accomplice was never identified. Car tantrum. An influencer, Chantel Baker, posted this video on her social media account, saying she was concerned about being stalked by a blue car. At first, she ignored it, but when the car cut her off, she finally pulled over and tried to capture the number plate. Then, 2 women got out of the car, and one of them charged right at her. Her windshield cracked, but Chantel remained secured. This woman was angry, but Baker had no idea why. Since she had her daughter in the back seat, she drove away instead of confronting her. Justice in action.
30-year-old Sabrina Kaldar is charged with killing 3 people in 3 days earlier this month.
This footage from Hamilton might look ordinary, but it has a dark story behind it. The woman, Sabrina Kaldar, was seen in Hamilton, but what most didn't know was that she was trying to evade justice. She was responsible for taking the life of a 77-year-old man in a nearby parking lot. But that wasn't her only crime. She is also responsible for other acts, including her own roommate in Toronto. Sabrina was arrested just moments after she was caught on camera, and although the prosecutors requested a psychological assessment for Sabrina, she opposed it. Sabrina was later found unfit and sent for 60 days of psychiatric treatment, and at last, Justice Russell Silverstein declared her fit for trial, which is due in July 2025.
The woman accused of killing 3 people in 3 cities over 3 days is fit to stand trial.
Frightening invasion. It's disturbing when someone's evil decisions turn your home into a place of fear. And that's exactly what happened last year on the 23rd of February. This family was in bed when masked intruders broke into their house. The parents froze with fear, holding their children close as the burglars went through the house, searching for anything of value. After 10 terrifying moments that felt like an eternity, the men finally left the house. Invasion nightmare. In another footage, 2 burglars broke into a house in broad daylight. It happened in San Jose when the homeowners, Vikram Singh and Bonnie Carr, weren't home. However, Bonnie's sister was still inside with their daughter when the surveillance camera captured them breaking and entering. The men got in through a sliding door, grabbed knives from the kitchen, and headed upstairs. But the men weren't as clever as they thought because they forgot to cover their faces. What's even more surprising is that the burglars didn't take anything with them. Either they couldn't find any valuable items, or it was Vikram that they were looking for. But even after the police looked into this incident, they still have no answers. Failed abduction.
It's just so horrible to watch. We do not yet know the woman's name or if she knew the man who grabbed her.
This disturbing footage was captured on a Bronx subway, and it shows just how quickly an ordinary day can turn terrifying. It was around 2:30 a.m. when a man across from this woman started acting strangely. She was trying to rest when this man, Sonny Alloway, tried to get her attention. When the train stopped at Morrison Avenue Soundview Station, he carried her off the train. She managed to break free from him and ran back inside. Sonny eventually walked away, but he was later arrested for unlawful imprisonment.
Try to grab me. You grab me at the train.
Restaurant altercation. This footage from a restaurant in Westerville shows just how quickly a customer's anger can spiral out of control. The customer got into a heated argument with the cashier, who tried to remain calm. But tension kept rising between the two until the customer finally crossed the line. The man had gotten so angry because his order was wrong, and that's what led him to lose his temper. Then a customer decided to step in, but that only made the situation worse. As he walked out of the store, another customer followed him to note his number plate, which led the police straight to him. He was later identified as 30-year-old Michael Gary Smith and was put behind bars on charges of vandalism and misdemeanor. Soup conflict.
She just still continued to yell, make a scene, and still cursing with, families and other children in the restaurant.
If you think customer rage can't get any worse, wait till you see this one. This time, it happened at Sol de Jalisco, a restaurant in Texas. A woman named Amanda Martinez was angry that her extra spicy soup was so hot, it had melted the lid of its container. The manager, Janelle Broland, calmly offered solutions, but Amanda wasn't cooperating at all. Amanda kept yelling and then did this. Janelle called the police on Amanda, and she was charged with Class A misdemeanor and booked into Bell County Jail, where she was held on a $5,000 bond. Amanda later apologized, and the judge sentenced her to 15 months deferred adjudication and 6 days of jail work release.
I just kind of really hope that she learns her lesson that people are not going to tolerate being treated that way ever.
Chipotle quarrel.
Well, an angry customer who threw a burrito bowl at a Chipotle worker in Ohio.
The 26-year-old employee, Emily Russell, was working her shift at a Chipotle when an agitated customer approached her with a complaint. And the complaint was as simple as this: she simply didn't like the food. In fact, she got so angry about it, she lost all control. She threw the entire burrito bowl right across the counter. After she walked out of there, the employees immediately alerted the police, who identified and arrested 39-year-old Rosemary Hain. Later in court, she pled guilty, but instead of giving her a standard sentence, Judge Timothy Gilligan gave a different punishment. He sentenced her to 60 days in jail and 20 hours of work a week at a fast food restaurant for 2 months.
Do you want to walk in her shoes for 2 months and learn how people should treat people, or do you want to do your jail time?
McTrouble. This customer at a McDonald's in Coleraine Township wanted to get a happy meal, but there was no happy ending here. The customer, Brittany Price, walked inside to get a wrong order fixed. She waited for 23 minutes, but then she ran out of patience. She threw her food, and the manager responded in kind. After creating such a huge scene, Price walked away, and the manager, Nashonda Johnson, did not file any charges against her. Creepy man.
Right now, a man accused of trying to lure a boy walking to school is back on the streets.
This next footage is every parent's worst nightmare. The surveillance video from outside a restaurant in Orange County showed a man approaching a boy at 7:30 in the morning. At first, it seemed like a casual interaction, but that soon changed when this was caught happening. The boy resisted him, and after realizing that the boy wasn't going anywhere with him, he finally left. The boy then reported this to the police, who finally captured the suspect named Vin Nguyen on charges of false imprisonment and was later released on bond.
Yeah, and according to investigators, Nguyen said he saw the boy walking to school about 5 or 6 times before he actually approached him.
Airport trouble.
Tonight, hear the newly released video showing a man punching multiple agents at a checkpoint.
28th of December is one of the busiest days at Miami International Airport, and last year, complete chaos broke out. A 28-year-old Canadian man, Cameron McDougall, had caused trouble on a flight just a day before. The authorities took him off the flight.
He was allowed to land, was not arrested,
but allowed him to book another one the next day, and that was a mistake. He hid behind a wall and charged at a passerby. And when security tried to intervene, things only got worse. Moments later, he charged towards security officers to cause even more trouble, but TSA agents managed to hold him until proper law enforcement arrived. After Miami-Dade police arrested McDougal, he pleaded guilty and now faces up to 2 years in prison.
McDougal has pleaded guilty in federal court to assaulting TSA officers. He's set to be sentenced tomorrow.
Pickaxe terror.
Man accused of plowing his car into a Lake Forest house, then going on the attack with a pickaxe, made his first appearance before a judge today.
This next moment is one of the most chilling things caught on camera. It happened in Lake Forest, California, when a car zoomed down the road and ran into a house. Then, a man got out of the car and ran towards the home that he had rented. But things only got worse from there. He, identified to be Tyler Graves, grabbed a pickaxe from the backyard. Then another camera caught him using the pickaxe on a door. Behind the door was his roommate, Eric Lee. The neighbors heard all this commotion and quickly called 911. After police subdued him, Graves was arrested and charged with 3 counts of assault, single counts of property damage, and resisting arrest.
He said somebody was chasing him with an axe. We came outside and we heard yelling at the house.
Creepy stalker. When this mother was walking up to her house, there was a man right at her tail. For the past 3 days, she'd been noticing the same man following her, which is why she was always cautious. But this time, she let her guard down. She was busy on a call and forgot to lock the gate, so the stalker walked right in. He began walking up the stairs, and as soon as she noticed him, she realized her mistake. Lucky for her, her neighbor was outside and she called out to him for help. As just the neighbor was about to come to her rescue, the stalker turned and left. Creepy old man.
Brave action that little girl took that helped police make an arrest.
This young girl's courage saved multiple lives. For weeks, she noticed a man following her from the bus stop all the way to her home. He would appear day after day to stalk her.
It's the man who keeps following me every day.
And when he got too close, she made a brave decision. She picked up her phone and recorded him. This video then became the key to his arrest. The detectives identified him as a 72-year-old Pinellas County man, Abdullah Indrik Joni, who used to walk many blocks just to stalk the 12-year-old. But because of her action, he was caught and potentially saved the lives of many others.
Her parents did a good job teaching her how to use that phone. Thank God.
Unhinged fury.
You're gonna be.
Why?
You're gonna be in a hospital if you don't get out of here.
When Damian Dallin tried to confront a scammer, things spiraled out of control. He stopped by to ask Tyler Stogan about the money that he pocketed from a small business. Tyler had taken the money after the company had to evacuate the area after hitting a gas line, and at that time, Tyler was getting concrete work done nearby. He claimed that the evacuation ruined his concrete and asked for compensation to repair it. But in reality, no damage was done to the concrete. Damian warned him that this was a punishable crime. But right after getting into his car, Tyler sent an old man after him. He had an iron rod in his hand and was acting really hostile. But then, he did something truly unhinged. The police arrived right after he smashed the windows. The man was identified as Dennis Tissington, Tyler's father-in-law, and he was charged with criminal mischief.
You're going to jail, bud.
Cash getaway. Early in the morning, when masked thieves got into a gas station in Hyde Park, their target was clear. They were surrounding the ATM, trying to get the cash out. They eventually knocked it over and dragged the entire machine straight through the sliding doors. Within minutes, they were gone. After this incident, police tried to identify the men, but couldn't get any solid leads. Jewelry robbery. A Range Rover drove right into a West London jewelry store, and what happened after that left everyone in fear. A group of men in helmets got out of the car and smashed the display cases one by one. They hurriedly started stuffing the stolen jewelry into a bag, but as they tried to escape, they couldn't get back in the car, so they fled on foot. But one of them was identified as Ben Wegener, who didn't make it too far because he was restrained by a pedestrian until police arrived. Wegener is serving 10 years in prison, while the others remain at large. Employee tantrum.
A fast food employee throwing hot coffee in a customer's face. That shocking scene unfolding at the Tim Hortons in Southgate late last month.
This camera captured a shocking moment when a fast food worker crossed a line. It happened at a drive-thru of a Tim Hortons in Southgate, Canada. The customer, Dusty Jackson, simply asked for her Timbits with her order. But instead of getting that, she received something else. It happened after a minor argument with the employee, who shut the window. And when she opened it again, she threw hot coffee. After this incident, Miss Jackson sued the company for around $25,000.
Not only did she have to deal with the pain of the scorching burns, but she also had to deal with the emotional embarrassment.
Restaurant outrage.
The incident was caught on video, and we're told the employee seen in that footage was actually the restaurant manager at the time.
A normal day at a Wingstop in Florida took a turn for the worse. The video captured a heated argument between the manager, Carnell Irene, and a customer. Another employee tried to pull Irene back, but was unsuccessful. At first, Irene squirted ranch dressing at them, and then proceeded to do something even worse. She grabbed a container filled with oil and emptied it on the customers. As the conflict was unfolding, the customers reported the incident to police, who reviewed the footage and interviewed witnesses before making the arrest. In the end, Irene was booked into St. Lucie County Jail and later released on bond, which was set at $15,000.
Manager takes a squirt bottle of ranch dressing, squirts it on our two victims.
Quiet break-in.
We got an alert around 2:30ish that our Wi-Fi went out because our camera alerted us that we couldn't connect to the Wi-Fi.
After an intruder kept breaking into homes in Queens Village, Glen Oaks, and New Hyde Park, so one of the residents in Queen Village, Imran Ahmad, installed security cameras and alarm systems in his home. When Ahmed was away, the intruder crept into his house. He had a white sheet draped over him, covering his face with a backpack. The footage also showed the intruder using a device which the police later identified to be a Wi-Fi jammer. The jammer deactivated the alarms but not the camera, which recorded the entire incident. Moments later, as he tried to get into the kitchen, the Wi-Fi reconnected to the alarm system and activated it. He had no choice but to leave. This intruder is still unidentified and remains at large.
Have something like this happen is very scary.
Nightmare neighbor. For years, this man made sure that his wheelchair-bound neighbor, Mr. Persaud, lived in fear. Day after day, he would come up to their property to vandalize it. Each time, Stephen Grove came with a single goal: to terrify his neighbors. But no one knew what pushed him to such extremes. After living in terror, Mr. Persaud called the police, who identified the vandalizer as Stephen Groves and arrested him. Stephen Groves was sentenced to a 2-year restraining order and had to pay £100 compression to each person he targeted. Pet thief. Taking someone's things is bad enough, but trying to steal their pet? That's a different kind of heartless. When the owner, Samuel Forrest Evertson, let her cat out, a woman walked up to their house. She reached down and grabbed the cat before running straight for her car. But just as she opened the door, the cat escaped from her arms and sprinted back to its home. Evertson later showed this footage to the Lincoln Police Department, who identified the 17-year-old woman and referred to the county attorney on charges of attempted theft and trespassing. Creepy stalker. This might be one of the most disturbing moments ever caught on camera. It happened at a Greenville Target store when a woman was crouching to browse the shelf. He got down slowly as he was pretending to browse through the shelf, but his intentions weren't innocent. He tried to slide his phone under her, but little did he know, a woman nearby had already sensed something was off and was already recording him. She immediately called out to him.
Excuse me, what are you doing? No, I just saw you put that underneath her dress.
And thanks to her quick thinking, the man couldn't go far with his twisted plan. He was later identified as Thomas Ryan Elliott and was sentenced to 3 years of probation.
Absolutely you did.
No, ma'am, I really wasn't.
You absolutely did.
Ma'am, I really wasn't.
Heartless abandonment.
It's just not a good thing to do. It's terrible for the animals. They're scared. They don't understand. They think it's a game, and then their owners don't come back.
Day after day, some pet owners keep betraying their animals. And the owner of Sierra Pacific Fur Babies, David Loop, has seen this happen a few times. Right outside his business property, CCTV caught a silver car pulling over and doing something heartless. The driver dumped a Rottweiler before driving away. But this wasn't the first time.
There's a lot of animals that show up here, dogs and cats, and we kind of suspected that they were being dumped.
2 weeks earlier, he saw this puppy wandering outside. And when he checked the needles through the camera, he saw another sad moment. Another driver had pulled over and abandoned a puppy by the roadside. Now, the puppies remain in the care of Robert. And with both clips in hand, Riverside County Animal Services is investigating, hoping to hold the heartless owners accountable.
Rather than dumping the animals, there's so many rescue groups in Southern California. The shelter is safer for them. So there's alternatives for them dumping animals.
Dog left behind. This man was carefully tying his dog outside the store. The dog remained completely calm throughout because he knew he was safe with his owner. But the dog was wrong. His owner simply walked away, leaving the innocent pet behind. But before leaving, he even snapped a photo of his dog as if to capture proof of the job getting done. The dog looked around helplessly, waiting for his owner to return, but he never did. That's when God sent an angel in the shape of a woman who ended up adopting him. Car vandalism. In this video, a woman was caught vandalizing a car. She kept throwing garbage at it like she had completely lost her mind. But this wasn't just a crazed person destroying someone's car. There's a story behind it. Turns out, this was her boyfriend's car, and after discovering he had cheated on her, she took revenge on the thing he loved most. Was it justified, or did she take it too far? Let me know in the comments what you think. Vietnam veteran. Jimmy Taylor, a 69-year-old pastor from Vietnam, started cursing at this hotel worker in Uganda, saying things that no one should ever have to hear.
You hate Jesus? You hate yourself? You hate me?
That's not the worst thing he did, because he took it to another level. Despite all these insults, the staff remained calm and tried to de-escalate the situation, but they did alert the police, who detained him at the Central Police Station. During the interrogation, Taylor confessed to having a mental illness since he was a Vietnam veteran, which is why he acted this way, and was later released on bail.
You smell good.
Car rampage.
I was shocked this morning. Wake up, turn on ABC, of course, ABC 7 in the morning, and there's a big, moment all about this woman.
A woman casually walked up to parked cars in Venice, but what she did next shocked the entire neighborhood. She carried a brick in her hand and without hesitation began smashing windshields. One car after another. The surveillance even showed her stealing part of a broken window. After seeing this woman all over the news, more people came forward as they realized this was the same woman who vandalized their cars too. Police tried to de-escalate the situation by investigating it, but they still haven't caught her or found out the reason behind her strange rampage.
Then decides to walk away from the car, come back to the car, and actually pull the window, the remains of the window frame, out of the car and walk away with it like a souvenir.
E-bike theft.
On top of stealing bikes worth $3,000 to $9,000 each, the thieves also took everything that makes these bikes that they left function.
These thieves thought no one was watching them, but they were wrong. On October 15th, this surveillance camera footage captured them crawling into a newly opened bike shop. They broke through a glass window and snuck inside. One by one, they loaded the bikes into a truck. The thieves kept crawling to avoid the motion sensors, but then the alarm finally went off.
Had that alarm not gone off, they would have taken every single bicycle in here.
That's what finally put an end to their theft. But Kristen Pokey, owner of the Padigo electric bikes shop, says by the time they'd triggered the alarm, the damage was done. She had been selling bikes for 4.5 years to share her love for cycling, but this theft had left her out of business. They had stolen so many bikes that now she relies on a few loyal customers who still come in for repairs, and counts on every penny to recover from the loss. To this day, the bikes are still missing, and the thieves still remain unidentified.
It's devastated us. I mean, we are unable to be in business right now because we don't have anything to sell.
Abandoned box.
Gentleman got out of the back of the car with the orange gloves, and that's when he opened up the hatchback, took out the pet carrier and threw it out.
This car pulled up on Beacon Street right outside Fisher College in the U.S., and the driver got out to toss a box out of his trunk. And what was inside shocked everyone. Inside that box was a healthy cat that he had decided to abandon for being too clingy. The poor animal was there overnight, until a maintenance worker found it the next morning. He named the cat Fish, who is now living happily in a new home. But police are still looking for the man responsible, and if they find him, he could be sentenced up to 7 years in prison for abandoning pets under Massachusetts law.
Person who abandoned fish could face up to 7 years in prison or a $5,000 fine.
Hero teen. A teen overheard screaming and sprinted towards danger. What happened next shocked everyone. The 16-year-old high school wrestling champion Kanan Bauer was filling up his truck in New Mexico when he heard cries for help from a nearby convenience store. A mother was desperately trying to protect her children from a man. Without hesitation, Kanan charged in and pinned him down until others rushed to help. They held him there for 5 minutes until police arrived. The police arrested the suspect, Daniel Beltran, and charged him with multiple felonies. He was jailed, but no final sentence was publicly reported. Now it's time for the most shocking encounter caught on camera. On 11th of June 2024, CCTV outside of a small business in Seattle captured an altercation like no other. One of the regular customers of the coffee stand, Taste of Heaven Espresso, owned by a bikini-clad woman, Emily, pulled up asking for a $5 discount on his $20 drink. The owner refused, which led to an argument, and things quickly escalated. The customer threw his drinks right at the window, after which Miss Lee responded by breaking his windshield.
Women are allowed to respond when there is danger in ways other than crime.
Authorities got involved in this incident, and Miss Lee confessed that the customer had acted hostile towards her before as well. But this time around, he crossed the line, so she ended up using the hammer that she had kept for self-defense. After the encounter, Miss Lee filed charges for misdemeanor and permanently banned him from her shop.
I have a hammer under the counter.
Why? Why do you do that?
For self-defense.